Orison Swett Marden, Thoughts Radiate as Influence, excerpt from Every Man a King. Gaze thou in the face of thy brother, in those eyes where plays the lambent fire of kindness, or in those where rages the lurid conflagration of anger. Feel how thy own so quiet soul is straightway involuntarily kindled with the like, and ye blaze and reverberate on each other, till it is all one limitless, confluent flame, of embracing love, or of deadly, grasping hate. And then say, what miraculous virtue goes out of man into man? Carlyle. Our thoughts, while most powerfully acting on our own lives, by no means exhaust their force there. They are not held prisoners within our minds or bodies. Potent with influence, they fly from us every instant, working for weal or for woe. Every thought which genius and piety throw into the world alters the world, says Emerson. This must not be taken merely to mean printed thoughts, or thoughts spoken from pulpit or rostrum, or even thoughts spoken at all. Our most secret, unuttered thoughts go forth and affect the world, the people all about us. Every man has an atmosphere peculiar to himself, pervaded by all of his characteristics, his ambitions and aspirations, absolutely determined by the thoughts that govern all his actions. The impression which he gives everybody who comes in contact with him partakes of his ideal. The quality of his ambition enters into his every voluntary act. It is not what you say so much as the bearing of your thought toward others that forms their estimate of you. Do not flatter yourself that you are known only by what you say, that you are measured by what you choose to give people about yourself. You create in others the impression which you hold in your own mind. What you think about modifies and reaffirms others' opinions of you. They feel the quality of your thought. They know whether it has power or weakness, whether it is clean, lofty, and noble, or base and low. They can tell by your silent radiations the character of your ideals, and they estimate you accordingly. In fact, this conviction, which has come from their silent impression of you, may be held firmly, even against your verbal protest to the contrary. As Emerson says, what you are speaks so loud, I cannot hear what you say. The atmosphere we radiate must, of necessity, partake of ourselves. We cannot radiate anything unlike ourselves. It does not matter what we pretend to be. People who know us take our real measure, not the pretended one. We can best estimate the effect we produce on others by analyzing the effect other persons have upon us. We know our real friends by the bearing of their thought toward us. We know that they feel generous and magnanimous toward us, whatever our faults. They are constantly radiating themselves into our consciousness. It does not matter how pleasant, agreeable, or considerate a man may be toward us. If he holds antagonistic thoughts, mean thoughts, if he carries a grudge, if he is not what he pretends to be, our instinct will penetrate beneath his pretense and unmask his real self. And while he thinks he deceives us, we feel instinctively what he really is. How often one hears, I can't bear that man, he gives me the creeps. Yet the individual in question may have been doing his best to make a good impression, and thinking all the time that he was succeeding. In the home and in the office, in every relation of life, radiation of one's own thoughts plays an important part. No care and effort can be too great that make this radiating influence always helpful, uplifting, beneficent. How much harm we can do in a single day by casting a dark shadow across some bright life, depressing buoyancy, crushing hopes, strangling aspirations, more harm than we can undo in years. We should be appalled if we could see pass before us in vivid panorama the wrecks of a lifetime, caused by cruel thought. A stab here, a thrust there, a cruel, malicious sarcasm, bitter irony, ungenerous criticisms, jealous thought, envious thought, hatred, anger, revengeful thought, are all going out constantly from many a mind on their deadly missions. A morose, gloomy, crestfallen mortal flings out his pessimism wherever he goes and poisons the atmosphere around him, surcharging it with heaviness, depression, and sadness. Success and happiness are not born in such an atmosphere. Hope cannot live in it. Joy flees from it. No child can be happy in it. Laughter is suppressed. Sweet, joyous faces become cloudy. We feel that life would be unendurable if we had to remain in it indefinitely. What a relief it is when such a person drags his depressing presence from us. Some people make us feel mean and contemptible in their presence. They call out of us meanness, which we never knew we possessed, and make us almost despise ourselves. Marriage sometimes reveals undesirable qualities, which neither husband nor wife suspected in themselves before. Some people emit a sort of miasmatic atmosphere, which poisons everything that comes within its reach. No matter how generous and magnanimous we felt before, when these characters come near us, we shrivel and shrink within ourselves, and there is no responsiveness, no spontaneity possible until they go out of our presence. Like disturbed clams, we shut ourselves up as tightly as possible until we feel that we are out of danger. We cannot be ourselves when near such people. We try to be agreeable with them, but somehow everything is forced. We cannot be sociable with them. We seem ill at ease until they have departed. Then we feel that a heavy weight is lifted from us, and we are ourselves again. Other people act like a tonic or an invigorating and refreshing breeze. They make us feel like new beings. By the inspiration of their presence, they stimulate our thoughts, quicken our faculties, sharpen our intellect, open the floodgates of language and sentiment, and awaken the poetic within us. These diverse effects come from the radiation or expression of personality, and we ourselves are producing such on others all the time. We radiate what we feel and believe, our fleeting moods and our deep-seated convictions. What we think most about and strive to become, we radiate to others in our every letter, in every conversation, in our manner, in our life. Spirit is contagious and will be quickly perceived or even taken on by those with whom we come in contact. If the mind is in harmony and peace, if it is strong and healthy, we radiate health, peace, and harmony wherever we go. On the contrary, if you are in doubt, if you are discouraged and disheartened, you will communicate discouraged thoughts. How can a mind always filled with self-depreciation, distrust, and the dread of failure radiate the confidence which is necessary to ensure credit and assistance from others? If you hold mean, contemptible thoughts, if you harbor revenge, jealousy, and envy, you reflect these thoughts to those about you. If you are selfish, you cannot help radiating the selfish thought. Everybody about you will feel your meanness and will measure you accordingly. If you are a miser, if you are greedy and avaricious, you cannot get away from your greed, but you must pay the penalty of your aim. You cannot radiate magnanimity if you are mean and stingy. If the attitude of your mind dwarfs and stunts all that is beautiful in life, if the tendency of your mind is to hinder, you cannot give out the opposite to the world. If you think blighting, chilling thoughts, you will radiate the same. Your aspirations and longings, whether for money or for fame or real helpfulness to others, will determine the character of your radiations. As we can only communicate the quality of our thought at the moment, how important that we control these thoughts and make them clean, pure, true thoughts instead of foul, demoralizing, doubtful ones. Servants have actually been made dishonest by other persons, perpetually holding the suspicion that they were dishonest. This thought, continually held by people who are naturally suspicious, suggests the thought perhaps to the suspected for the first time, and being constantly held there, takes root and grows, and bears the fruit of theft. It is simply cruel to hold a suspicious thought of another until you have positively proved its authenticity. That other person's mind is sacred. You have no right to invade it with your miserable thoughts and pictures of suspicion. You should keep your wicked thoughts at home, but, as this is impossible, you should not harbor them, any more than you would allow yourself to hold thoughts of sin or crime. Many a being has been made wretched and miserable for years, depressed, despondent, and borne down by the uncharitable, wicked thoughts of those about them. Many people scatter fear thoughts, doubt thoughts, failure thoughts, wherever they go, and these take root in minds that might otherwise be free from them and therefore happy, confident, and successful. Be sure that when you hold an evil thought toward another, an unhealthy thought, a discordant thought, a disease thought, a deadly thought, something is wrong in your mind. You should call, halt, about face. Look toward the sunlight. Determine that, if you cannot do any good in the world, you will not scatter seeds of poison, the venom of malice and hatred. Always hold kindly thoughts, charitable, magnanimous, loving thoughts toward everybody. Then you will not depress them and hinder them, but will scatter sunshine and gladness instead of sadness and shadow, help and encouragement instead of discouragement. Be one of those who are always radiating success thoughts, health thoughts, joy thoughts, uplifting, helpful thoughts, scattering sunshine wherever they go. These are the helpers of the world, the lighteners of burdens, the people who ease the jolts of life and soothe the wounded and give solace to the discouraged. Learn to radiate joy, not stingily, not meanly, but generously. Fling out your gladness without reserve. Shed it in the home, on the street, on the car, in the store, everywhere, as the rose sheds its beauty and flings out its fragrance. When the world learns that love thoughts heal, that they carry balm to wounds, that thoughts of harmony, of beauty, and of truth always uplift, beautify, and ennoble, that the opposite carry death, destruction, and blight everywhere, it will learn the true secret of right living.